Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, Leader of the House, Government Chief Whip, Cabinet Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Leader of the Opposition, party leaders in the House, Honorable Members of Parliament, and not forgetting parliamentary staff. On behalf of the mighty United Democratic Front, UDF, the mother of democracy, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to respond to His Excellency, the President's State of the Nation Address, SONA, which he delivered to this August House on Friday, 14th February, during the opening of the 2025-2026 budget session of Parliament. Before addressing the UDF's official response to the SONA, allow me to congratulate all colleagues recently appointed to the cabinet and those who have been retained. Please receive our sincere congratulations from the United Democratic Front leadership and the entire party. Madam Speaker, the State of the Nation Address is a constitutional obligation as stipulated in Section 89, subsection 3 of the Malawi Constitution. It serves as a mirror reflecting the nation's development trajectory and should ideally set the tone for how the government intends to navigate the challenges our people face. However, the SONA delivered by the President was clear acknowledgement that our nation, Malawi, is in crisis. Our people are struggling to survive, and their suffering was underscored by the 29 times the President mentioned the word pain in just the introduction part of his speech. Madam Speaker, for those that have read the SONA, the State President mentioned the word pain 29 times only in the introduction. That shows, as a country, we are really going through a painful patch. Madam Speaker, beyond acknowledging these struggles, Malawians expected solutions. They expected a coherent roadmap to rescue our economy, stabilize our currency, secure food supplies, and create jobs. Instead, the SONA was a missed opportunity, full of rhetoric, but devoid of real action. Madam Speaker, previous SONAs spoke of major infrastructure projects, including Sanamana-Uchi Road, Lilangwe Chingale Majinga Road, Ncheu Tsangano Neno Road, industrial parks in Blantyre, Nzuzu, and Lilongwe, meant to create at least 240,000 jobs. As of today, the question that I can be asking is, where are the jobs as of today? After being promised, where are the industrial parks as of today? Where are we on the Ncheu Tsangano Road? Where are we on the Lilangwe Chingale Majinga Road? And the previous SONA also promised of strategic food distribution plans that were meant to be impartial, but have instead been politicized, leaving some regions neglected. Madam Speaker, I'm saying this as a representative of the people of Zombantonia who are toiling, who are going to bed with an empty stomach. They only received once the MVAC means only in November. Up to now, they haven't received anything. But I know for sure that some other regions are receiving rice, are receiving maize. Some regions have received 2 times, some 3 times. But where I'm coming from, only once. Madam Speaker, I'm crying for Malawians. I'm crying for the youth of this country. And I'm crying for my beloved Malawi. Allow me to remind this House of the many broken promises made by this administration. The MCP manifesto, Madam Speaker, spoke of 1 million jobs, cheap fertilizer, the economic transformation. Yet to date, none of these promises have been fulfilled. My President Atupele Muluzi, rightly predicted during one of the debates that MCP promises were empty, stating that MCP, and I quote, ingolonjeza zambiri koma sakunena kuti ndalama zopangira zinthuzi azazitenga kuti. This means MCP makes grand promises but fails to explain how they will find this. My president said so. And I remember also my president saying, Renala sampatsa basi. I remember vividly well. Madam Speaker, for 4 years, we have listened to the State of the Nation addresses while our country continues to sink in deeper crisis. Malawi is now among the 4 poorest countries in the world. But unlike others, we are the only country that has not gone through war. The other countries which are poor, they had tasted war. But with us, no, but we are one of the poorest countries. Madam Speaker, what is our excuse? This is very, very shameful. Madam Speaker, success depends on leadership, and this must be emphasized. But today we are witnessing a failure of leadership that lacks vision, a leadership that lacks agency to deliver, a leadership that has abandoned the people. Madam Speaker, we have economic collapse, a government without a plan. Madam Speaker, the UDF firmly believes that the 2 most pressing issues facing Malawians today are 1, the economy, number 2, food security. Unfortunately, the president's speech failed to provide real solution to these challenges. Number 1, Madam Speaker, I mentioned about the economy. We have the economy in crisis in this country. Madam Speaker, our economy is on the intensive care unit. Our economy is on the resuscitation bed.
Honorable members, order on both sides. Order, please. Order.
Madam Speaker, even when we talk about foreign exchange reserves have indeed dried up, with 2.2 billion deficit, making it nearly impossible to import fuel, medicine, and essential goods. Madam Speaker, it goes without saying that every good-meaning Malawian would want to have fuel in our filling stations. Fuel, we all know the importance of fuel. Madam Speaker, as I'm speaking to you now, when you go to the parallel market, the kwacha has collapsed, trading at over 4,000 kwacha per dollar on the parallel market. Madam Speaker, inflation is skyrocketing, further eroding the people's purchasing power. Malawi remains without an IMF program, worsening the investor confidence that we used to have as a country. Madam Speaker, even the United States' recent suspension of $350 million in aid further deepens the crisis. Madam Speaker, where is the government's plan to stabilize the economy? How does it intend to restore confidence? Malawians deserve answers. Number 2, Madam Speaker, the issue on food security. We have a looming hunger crisis. Madam Speaker, Malawians are hungry today. Erratic rainfall has stunted crops, leading to an inevitable food crisis later this year. Food prices have soared, making basic meals unaffordable. Madam Speaker, we've reached at a stage where when you visit a shop today, you find cooking oil at 6,000. When you go tomorrow, you find the price is at 10,000. It is even hard to plan, Madam Speaker. It is even impossible to budget with such kind of a trend in as far as the economy is concerned. Madam Speaker, the government has no strategic plan to address the looming famine. The president was expected to outline emergency interventions, but indeed, Malawians were given vague assurances. Madam Speaker, the fuel crisis and the forex. You know, Madam Speaker, the fuel crisis is a direct result of poor governance. Malawi imports more than it exports, creating a dangerous reliance on foreign reserves. We remain too dependent on donor funding instead of building a strong export market. The president failed to outline a strategy to boost exports, strengthen the kwacha, or attract investors. Madam Speaker, the other thing that is bringing this country down is the issue of corruption. Ever since the president ascended to power, his SONAs, his speeches, he has alluded to this fact that this country is riddled with deep corruption. But his saying is only rhetoric, because when you look at the ground, there's actually nothing happening to solve this problem of corruption. Madam Speaker, how can we move forward when our leaders, when those that were entrusted to run this country, those that were entrusted to look at the pulse of this country are involved in corruption? Which, when our leaders are involved in corruption like that, they lack credibility. Can I be protected, Madam Speaker? This honorable...
Can I have order, honorable members? Order,
this
please.
honorable standing here...
Order, please.
...is standing here on behalf of the mighty UDF and the people of
Address the chair, honorable member, please. Address the chair.
Madam Speaker, leadership is about action, not empty words. A poor farmer in Zombantonia, Madam Speaker, wants affordable farm inputs. An ordinary Malawian wants medicine in the hospitals. Motorists want fuel readily available. Civil servants want salaries that reflect the cost of living. Businesses want access to forex to sustain operations. The jobless youth want real employment opportunities. Madam Speaker, the president presented himself as if he's being interviewed for an extension of his employment contract, and not as someone who is already on the job, which his employers are expecting him to deliver. Unfortunately, during the interview, he presented qualification papers that are not genuine by mentioning some projects that are not there. In this connection, Madam Speaker, who are we supposed to blame for the misinformation? Madam Speaker, I feel that if MPs like Yona Jadawiza were consulted in this, they could have furnished him with correct information. Madam Speaker, this has also prompted me to start questioning the intelligence formation, for they are supposed to provide any information to the principal for him to be making informed decisions. We are in trouble, BANDA. This administration, Madam Speaker, has a good habit of confessing that the country's economy is sailing through troubled waters. However, what they have not learned to do since they took over power is to admit that they lack pragmatic solutions to solve these problems. Instead, what we have been witnessing, even with this SONA, is a tendency to flag statistics which do not speak to the realities on the ground. Madam Speaker, it is not enough to simply confess that we have problems. As a country, we need to show to the ground that we are doing something about the challenges. Madam Speaker, some of the problems that we are lamenting can easily be solved by show of political will. Some of them can be solved by taking necessary policy shifts through deliberate proposed public sector reforms. The UDF will soon unveil its manifesto that provides solutions to the problems of Malawi, offering real change for Malawi. Madam Speaker, to rescue Malawi, the UDF proposes a business-first approach that will include a set of reforms to stabilize and grow the economy. Real fight on corruption that will include recovery of stolen assets and prevention. Tax reforms to attract foreign direct investment, FDI, with a focus of innovation such as digital and greening economic plan to create jobs, whilst ensuring that we reform agriculture to ensure food security. We will also include the following measures, Madam Speaker. Public sector reforms. Depoliticize the civil service. Not everyone who helped in political campaigns can be given a government position. Competence must come first. Madam Speaker, we've witnessed the drum beaters or even all those that helped us to erect platforms in our rallies, wanting to get into the system. This system is not for everybody. We've witnessed the Makanja being fished out from the lake, wanting to get into the system. This system is not for everyone else. This system is only those that are competent, only those that are qualified to do that job. And the other thing that we'll focus on, Madam Speaker, is reduce unnecessary government expenditure, cut down on unnecessary international, and control the wage bill. Introduce performance-based contracts for senior government officials to ensure accountability. Economic revival plan, Madam Speaker, I would want to speak on that. The UDF would want to attract foreign investors through credible policies, strengthen export markets to generate forex, diversity to diversify agriculture to boost security, cut wasteful spending, and reinvest in critical sector. Madam Speaker, we all know that Malawians deserve better. This administration has confessed that the economy is failing, but has failed to admit that it lacks solutions. It has given statistics that do not reflect reality. It has failed to demonstrate political will in solving problems. It lacks the technical competence to lead Malawi out of the crisis. The state of our economy has collapsed. The cost of living is rising daily. This moment, Madam Speaker, reminds me of 1993. Malawians were suffering, hungry, without money, without hope. There was hyperinflation. Malawi was drowning in debt. But Malawians took action in 1994 and voted for change. They voted for the UDF and Malawi moved forward. As the UDF, we had inherited the same fundamentals we are witnessing today. When His Excellency, father of Malawi's democracy, Dr. Bagile Muluzi, took office on 17 May 1994, the first year of his administration focused on appointing the right people in the right places. Madam Speaker, you can agree with me, in all the regimes that have come in this country, Dr. Bagile Muluzi appointed a credible cabinet. When they were attending cabinet meetings, it was inspiring hope. The names of Aleke Kadona Pani Banda, Justin Malewezi, these are big names, Edward Bwana. These are big names, the people that have helped to shape the economy, the future of this country. Madam Speaker, these were distinguished sons of Malawi who turned around the worsening economic crisis after donors had pulled out of their aid. Only UDF knows how to identify talent and use it. If anyone is in doubt, Madam Speaker, 10 years later, in 2004, the UDF identified and featured late Gudo Gondwe and His Excellency late Dr. Bingwa Mtarika, the economic engineer. Maybe people might forget that UDF produced the people like Bingwa Mtarika who shaped the economy of this country. For the state of Malawi development to move from a current base, Madam Speaker, let Malawians elect back UDF, the party that cleans up MCP's mess. Madam Speaker, we've heard the SONA that the president presented in this house. The previous SONA, Madam Speaker, the president talked about the ATM strategy. The ATM strategy was talking about agriculture, tourism, and mining. In this SONA, he did not say anything closer to this. As a country, Madam Speaker, we would want to hear the president talking about mining in Kasia. Where are we on the rutile mines? What are there to show as a country in the negotiation that were there? What are we benefiting as a country? But what we are hearing, Madam Speaker, is radio silence. This radio silence, Madam Speaker, is making our eyebrows to go up. Are we going to benefit? Because the secrecy surrounding this negotiation, it is giving. Madam Speaker, I was on the Lutaya in Kasia. There's nothing that we are hearing. There's nothing that we are hearing. Madam Speaker, even on agriculture, the president hasn't said much. This country is going through a hard times. Why I'm speaking to you, Madam Speaker, today, the people of Zombantonia, the people of Zombantonia, can I be protected, Madam Speaker?
Order, please. On my right, order,
some
please.
people, they think by making noise, it means they are protecting the government. If the government had listened from the very first speech that I made in this house in 2020, the situation could not have been like it is today. I remember, Madam Speaker, I had said, do not focus on 2025 elections. As MCP, get to work, get gloves, get overalls, and go to work. Instead of working, they were focusing on the next election. This is what happens. Today, even the way the president was speaking to this house that day, you could tell Dr. Chakwera was not in his form, the form that we used to know when he wants to speak to the public. As a good public speaker, we know it. Madam Speaker, we know the speeches that the president has presented in this country. The speeches like draining the swamp. The speeches like they did not see Magufuli coming. The last time that he was here, he wasn't himself. I know the president knows that this speech was his last. The next government that will be coming. Madam Speaker, in this country, I've seen members of parliament shifting places from this side to that side in my lifetime. And this time again, I witnessed the same. These people move from this side, go on this side. This year, that will happen. And that, you can mark my word, Madam Speaker. Malawians, they vote against mostly. They don't vote for. They vote. They do protesting voting. Malawians out there. I was in Chinji, Madam Speaker, just a week ago. What I've heard there, it's a sorry state. I'm telling you. And I know the people that are eating, the people that are feasting might not agree with me. But what is on the actual ground, even here in the central region, people are complaining. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, as UDF, we are in pain to support this SONA, as it is falling short to be called the SONA. To me and to the UDF, we feel like what the president presented in this house was the constituency statement. I submit. Thank you.
Honorable Leader of UDF, Honorable Minister of Trade, you're rising.
I'm rising on a point of order, right, Honorable Speaker. That was a problem. Right, Honorable Speaker, without taking anything away from the leader of UDF, I got interested when he started suggesting solutions for what he called as the problems Malawi is facing. And one of the solutions that leader of UDF raised was to contain the wage bill. Now, I wanted to ask you, Right Honorable Speaker, if it is in order that in the same breath that the leader of UDF is suggesting a solution from his party that is going to contain the wage bill to deal with the economic crisis Malawi is going through, continues and suggests in the same breath that where are the 1 million jobs? And he also asks the question, why can we not increase wages for public sector so they have a living wage? Now, Right Honorable Speaker, is it in order, therefore, for the UDF to show lack of seriousness in addressing the economic challenges Malawi has, to on one hand suggest that they get in government and contain the wage bill, but on the other hand, come up with policies that increase that wage bill? It is this lack of seriousness from the opposition that Malawians continue trusting Dr. Chakwera to continue with his policies going forward. Because it's easier to talk, it's very difficult to do, and we have just seen, Right Honorable Speaker, that UDF is very inconsistent with their policies and have no clue what they are talking about when they suggest solutions in this House. I wanted that to come out live, Madam Speaker, that the cluelessness that we see in opposition cannot be something Malawians can trust. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister of Trade. I did see, is it a point of order from Salima Southeast? So what has gone out of order? Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I'm shocked today that UDF, by the speech made by the UDF leader, I'm shocked that UDF today, they're becoming sympathizers to Malawians. Yet they're the ones who destroyed this nation. When Kamuzu was ruling this country, Kwacha to dollar was 1-to-1. He's complaining about inflation. Yet we are the ones who started seeing the devaluation of Kwacha from the DPP. That UDF. They have sold a lot of companies, Malawian companies. They have sold B&C. They have sold David Whitehead. They have ended Adimag here in Malawi. They have ended railway transport here in Malawi. Today, they're starting here to complain that things are not going well. Why?
Honorable Member for Salima South.
Is it in order for you to be complaining that things are not working? Yet they're the ones who destroyed this country. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Salima Southeast. Thank you, Salima. Honorable Member for Salima Southeast. Honorable Member for, can I have order? Honorable Member for Zomba Malosa, is it it's a point of order? Oh, it's a contribution? Yes, Mwanza Central, I'll give immediately. What's Mwanza Central? Honorable Member, is it a contribution or a point of order? Sorry, I can't.
It's a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Of order?
Yes, Madam Speaker, is it in order that when you want to ask a point of order, you should be reading, because Salima Southeast was reading a point of order. So is it in order for somebody to be reading a point of order? Thank you.
Thank you, Zomba Malosa. Well, I was observing. Was he reading? I don't know. Thank you, Honorable Member for Mwanza Central and then Blantyre South, City Southwest.
Right Honorable Madam Speaker, Madam, thank you very much for giving a chance to people of Mwanza Central, particularly Inkosi Kandugu Maseko, Kunene Kude, Ngadziwe, Tulongondo, and all the group village headmen. First of all, Right Honorable Madam Speaker, Madam, I stand here first of all to congratulate and thank the President for appointing one of my sister, my own sister at Mwanza Central, as the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Unity and Culture. At least in Mwanza, we are now well represented. Right Honorable Speaker, Madam, I want to, first of all, I was zero in my contribution of the State of the Nation address, particularly things that affects Mwanza. Since according to, I've been a minister sometimes, so if for a minister you don't speak at most of, but so I'll represent my good sister, some of these things. So, right on, Madam Speaker, Madam, I will zero on things that are happening in Mwanza. Right Honorable Madam Speaker, Madam, I want to say this. Edmund Burke, in 1774, speaking about constituency and parliamentary representation, he said, and I quote, "You must be responsible for your people that elect you to the House of Commons then in 1774. And I'll do likewise." Amica Cabral, in 1960, they said, "We do things within the context of our time." Let me do things within the context of this time. Mwanza. Right, Honorable Speaker, Madam, there's a biblical scenario when a lady had a girl who was infested, who had a sickness. So people said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I want to see Jesus." He said, "What is your problem?" So, people sometimes said, they didn't want this lady, because he was a Gentile, he was not a Jew, said, "No, don't come closer to Jesus." But Jesus said, and he said, "I will continue speaking good for Jesus, even if you tell me that Jesus is bad." So apparently, let me say this, I'll talk SONA and thank the president for what he has done in Mwanza Central. First of all, the issue to do with development. The state president in this SONA, he said that Mwanza Central is represented by DAUSI and Honorable Chitsulo. True. And in our constituency, I'll start first of all Mwanza West. He has constructed Kalanga Health Unit, Tetula Health Unit, CHIMWENDO and Kaera. These are operational now. He has constructed Kalanga, he has constructed Tetula again and Kalanga Community Secondary Schools. He has constructed in Taje and Govati Chief's houses. He has constructed, the list is too long, but he has constructed health centers. And I want to say thank you so much, Mr. President, because the people of Mwanza will benefit. Now to Mwanza Central. In Mwanza, we are now, the Mwanza Stadium is at 90% construction. It is, as I said the other time, that it is an architectural blueprint. It is a development that people of Mwanza will continue to cherish. I want to say this, that in 1981, the late Hastings Kamuzu BANDA constructed Mwanza Secondary School and constructed Mwanza District Hospital. Now, right now we are bragging, we are happy because we have now the Mwanza Community Stadium is under construction. We have been told, the contractor has just assured me, that the construction will end by end March. And the stadium will be officially opened on 30th April. I've been sent by the people of Mwanza to thank the president.
Honorable Leader, you're rising.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm rising to extend time in order to allow Mwanza Central to finish his statement. He has only taken 4 minutes. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
I now put the question. The question is that we waive all relevant standing orders in order for us to extend time to allow Honorable Member for Mwanza Central to wind up his debate. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Madam Speaker, there are some regurgitated political undertones that I can hear from this house. I have suffered in DPP because of those statements. It's unfortunate I was expelled by the same person who said so. So I am not DPP, and I'm not MCP. I'm an independent member of parliament. I'm only speaking for my constituency. And these people are the ones that made me to suffer this one. You were not there when DPP was suffering. These people are crooks. Who are you?
Can we have order, please? Order, please, order.
When Ibingu died, I was one of the only person who kept the DPP. And it is painful that people can tell the president, His Excellency, Professor Peter Mutharika, that expelled DAUSI. You expelled me. Now, what wrong have I done? What do you want? No. Back to my SONA. I wanted to thank the state president, Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, for his thoughtfulness in developing Mwanza. Mwanza Stadium now is at 90%. It is an architectural blueprint. And the people of my home are saying, thank you. But I want to say to the government, the people of Mwanza also thank for the construction of Garafa Health Clinic. Construction and extension of Mwanza District Hospital, which is in progress. The extension and refurbishment of WANENA Health Clinics. The construction of eight classrooms for Kanjeta Primary School, Chizumbi Primary School, Mwembezi Primary School, Hande Primary School, Lipenga Jomba Primary School. All these are almost at the 90% finishing. Madam Speaker, Madam, about agriculture and food situation, I want to thank the government because they had provided maize for people of Mwanza. And it is now my persuasive submission that there is now a terrible hunger because people planted, the dry spell came, and people, particularly in the following areas, need maize supply. Where's the Minister of Agriculture, by the way? They need the help. People of Ngaziwe, Mulingalila, Chagona, Tulonghondo, people of Njolomola, people of Jeke, people of even Tetulagalanga, Chimbinda, people of Choteni, people of Chikolosa, people of Ziaya, people of Tulonghondo. All these people, they need, particularly Pogo Dikumaza Pizza. They cut the Maza Pizza area and Pogo area. There's terrible hunger. Please help. Right word of Madam Speaker, Madam. We expect the government to also continue finishing the construction of a police unit, which is almost 90% finished. We only need the construction of houses, which we started at Mwanza Boma, and we have been told that the government will construct 8 police houses at WANENA Police Unit and Tulongoto Police, including Kalanga Police Unit. Right word of Madam Speaker, Madam, I would want to also register my thankfulness for the government in the provision of water development. We have received the reticulated water supply, which will be able to help villages. My people will start enjoying piped water project at WANENA and Kalanga. Thank you so much. The development that are taking place in Mwanza are those that would want to say thank you. And it is my passionate plea that the government continues. With these very persuasive remarks, I want to end by saying this. I have been in politics for some time. There are people who know how to punish other people. I have seen people suffering because of other people's words. I want you to first say it is not right to victimize an innocent person. There is God in heaven. Saint Thomas Aquinas said, "Thank government which there is common sense, and this is common good." I thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Mwanza Central. Honorable Member, because of time extension, you'll be considered tomorrow because the time was only extended for. Yeah. Honorable Leader of the House.
Thank you so much. All right. Honorable Speaker, first of all, to thank you in the manner you've chaired proceedings today. I also want to thank Cheu Central, Dr. Mbawala, and in Kota Northeast, Overstone Kondowe, for moving and seconding the motion. I want to recognize the speech made by the Leader of Opposition and the speech made by the Leader of UDF. And Right Honorable, so many people have commented on the SONA, but I think the climax was Mwanza Central, who I was once a youth chairman for him at Mwanza. And I did my secondary school at Mwanza. And the places where he was mentioning, I can testify because I was in Mwanza 2 weeks ago to testify. As this is our first day, almost each and every person here, Madam, time permitting, you are going to give them a chance to speak. Others will politic, others will say the truth, will serve Malawi better, will choose what is right for us. But when it comes to resource allocation, government, because of what people are saying, we have brought everything on paper. So even as I speak here, we have everybody's development activities, the money they requested, the forms they filled, all of them. Almost 600 million, 500 million that I've gotten from the budget. We have the details. Malawians cannot be lied anymore. And everybody has taken that money to develop their constituencies. Let's debate and let's move forward. Malawians will know how much money your constituency has gotten and the list of development that you have signed and requested. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Right Honorable Speaker, my dear brother, BANDA Southeast is a good brother. Actually, I gave 40 million kwacha loans to his people through CDF. CDF, that Chakwera gave, he got 40 million kwacha to give his people. That's what is going to happen. That's what is going to happen in this city.
Yes.
So tomorrow,
Honorable Member for Blantyre City Southeast.
Tomorrow we'll have
Blantyre City. Yeah.
Tomorrow,
yes, Blantyre
we'll
City Southeast.
Questions?
Blantyre City. Yes, but you didn't use. You don't use the right procedures to rise, please, Honorable Member. No. I know, but let's not bring temperaments in the House, please. Please, Honorable Member, please.
Madam, this is a first day. If I've made a mistake to side because he had shouted on top, I didn't mention. But what I just said was, he used the CDF. Yeah, CDF, which was provided by Chakwera's government. It's Chakwera's government. So 40 million kwacha loans, you signed for them. The money that Chakwera gave this country. Tomorrow, we'll start with questions needing oral replies. Soon after that, we are going to give more time for people to debate about development that has taken place in our country. And Madam, when I will make a ministerial statement here, I will even say who is failing to use 120 million kwacha for CDF. Good night and may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of the House. Honorable members, it is 5:09. I now adjourn the House to tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. House adjourned.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.